with a return.
I have a little rule for half-price books, which is I will not spend more than $8 on a book there, which actually seems like a lot, but I'm adjusting for inflation. They did have a copy of Haunting of Hill House, the same copy I was reading. I feel like it was faded because there was only one copy left and the page that I'm on was actually folded down and it was $7.49, so it was under my limit. I got The Reader by Bernard Schlink. I saw the movie many years ago, the one with Kate Winslet, and I got Persuasion by Jane Austen. I also got this really pretty cover of Pride and Prejudice. If I'm going to half-price books, odds are I'm gonna leave with more than one book. Okay, I'm gonna unload my Trader Joe's haul here. It is so crowded in Trader Joe's no matter what time of day it is, and we have 2 of them here in Boise. I don't understand it. Well, I will spare you my Trader Joe's rant. I love Trader Joe's, I just hate how busy it is. Ace and I need to go for a run, and he can get some of his aggression out on his run, not on his toys. And then, he's staring at me. I think that's it for the day. Okay. Bye-bye. I'm a little over halfway right now. I'm gonna have to have a conversation with people who love this book. And if you love this book, please feel free. This is your invitation to explain to me why you love this book. I find it more accessible than I would have expected, but histrionic is a great word for the 2 main characters in this book, Catherine and Heathcliff. I'm not enjoying it. Shockingly, I feel surprised by the book somehow. I didn't actually know really much about the plot, which seems insane, but is true. What's more insane is that my husband said he'd never heard of this book, and now I have to question so many things about him. I'm enjoying it. I'm curious how I'll feel about it. I'm very glad it's a book club book because I think the book club discussion will help me get to a place that I might not be able to get to on my own, if that makes sense. And yeah, it will be in my November reading wrap up. Apologies for the lighting. I just went to turn on our light, although I hate the big light, but I need to do my makeup. And it's not working. I haven't been sleeping in this room because my husband has been recovering from his shoulder surgery. I just texted him and was like, did you know that the light's not working? He says maybe he knew. This really feels like a yes or no question. Okay. I finished listening to The Dutch House by Anne Patchett. I loved the audiobook. I loved Tom Hanks's narration of it. It was my first Anne Patchett, and I'm really excited because I know I've had Bel Canto on my shelves for many years at this point, and I will make it maybe a priority next year to read more of her work. Then I am also reading Doppelganger by Naomi Klein. I thought it was going to be about the doppelganger phenomenon, and call me crazy, but it just says doppelganger on here like 27 times, so that's what I thought, and that's apparently not really what it's about. I just picked it up. I was in a fit of frenzy and I thought it would be good, and I'm not the biggest nonfiction reader. I mean, I love a memoir, but I'm not quite as drawn to them as just fiction. Let me put some more makeup on and then we'll finish talking about the last book. I always feel like I look ghostly when I'm on Zoom, and that's not the impression that I want to give a new client, that they are meeting with someone who is questionably alive with a pulse. Okay, I think I'm finished, or whatever. I don't care anymore. That's the better way of putting it. It's been a very long time since I have read Elena Ferrante. I read the Neapolitan Quartet novels. I have a memory. It was a New Year's Eve night and I was reading the second book, and I was like, I can't keep reading this because tomorrow's New Year's Day. I'm gonna need the third one if I keep up at this pace, and I'm not gonna be able to get it, and that will be devastating to me. But was I able to control myself? No, I was not. And I finished the book that night. I remember because the fireworks started going off, and I was like, I have 2 more pages left, and so that's the kind of fun I am. Oh, and the next day, of course, I was, in despair because I didn't have the third book. But anyway, so now I'm reading The Lying Life of Adults. I am just over halfway through with this one. I am so happy to be reading Elena Ferrante. All of her books, by the way, are translated by Anne Goldstein. I love that because then there's a consistency to the voice, and the voice is what is so critical in these novels. She would be among the very best, in my opinion, who write women in an authentic way that feels kind of exposed but honest and not mean-spirited. That's not to say she writes women in a flattering way, but it does feel real, and so when I'm reading her novels, they just hit a visceral core piece of who I am, for better or for worse. Okay, time for my meeting. It is Friday afternoon. I've been at my office space getting all the internet stuff set up, and I'm gonna go for a run with Ace and start editing this together. I have a feeling that when I start putting it together, I'm going to realize that I have done a lot more book buying than I normally feel comfortable doing in such a short span of time. I don't even think I talked about some of the books that I purchased. I purchased some from the NYRB sale and from thrift books, more than I generally do, but it's not the best tool to use to manage anxiety, but I guess it's the tool that I leaned on this past month. So that's something to evaluate as we head into the new year. For now, I'm gonna let myself off the hook with it, I think, and just enjoy it. 20 minutes. Okay. Oh, gotta check that. Ow. Okay. I just got back from a walk with Ace. After my race on Saturday, I really do try to not do too much. So today was my last day of nothingness. I'm trying to decide right there, trying to decide between 2 lamps. I have a stack of books. I have conflicted feelings about book hauls. On the one hand, I enjoy them because I feel like it validates when I go through these periods, which is not super frequent, but this year feels a little bit different because I suspect that I'm just feeling anxious, and so this is some weirdo tool that I'm using to help me feel less anxious. I don't know what that's about. I'm sure I can talk about it with my therapist, and she'll maybe think to herself, this is the most non-problem I have heard today or even this week or ever. A few days ago, I went to Half Price Books. I think I would have showed you guys that little haul that I got from Half Price Books. In the subsequent days, I went to one of the independent bookstores in my town. It's called Rediscovered Books. It moved locations, so I wanted to check out the new location. So the first book that I bought from the bookstore is Elena Ferrante, The Days of Abandonment. I am a little over halfway finished with The Lying Lives of Adults. I love this copy, partly because it's these French flaps, which I love. Then another book that I feel like I've been reading about, Discontent. This is by Beatrice Serrano, translated by Marife Letham. I think she must be a Spanish author. I'm going to assume she is because the main character lives in Madrid. I lived in Madrid for a little while. Fun fact. This seems very much about this sort of existential crisis of not the youth exactly, but sort of older youth, and I mean late 20s, early 30s, heading into those ages that I'm now in. The main character in this book is living this kind of dull existence. It's very predictable, it's very, very routine. There's nothing inspiring about it, but something happens to upend that. It's kind of giving Yellowface energy, at least from what I'm reading of the summary, but I'm sure it's a totally different story. Then this one I have no guilt about. The Knockout Queen by Ruthie Thorpe. Ruthie Thorpe is the author of Margot's Got Money Troubles, which I fell utterly in love with earlier this year. Then the next one, this is one that I actually did read about in the New York Times book review. Okay, so I've been influenced twice in this video alone. It's Thirst Trap. There's a literal cigarette with a high heel shoe on it. So I have no doubt that this book is very good, or at least I hope it is, but it doesn't look like the most prestigious book just based on the cover. I think we can agree. This takes place in Ireland, I think, and by an Irish author, and that alone is enough to pique my interest. The story also sounded interesting. It's another one about, young women in their maybe late 20s, early 30s, approaching 30 kind of time frame. Then the last book in this haul is another book I've been looking for a while. This is Stoneyard Devotional. I don't know why this book was so hard to find. For some reason I wanted to buy it in person. I've had it on my TBR for a little while now. It was shortlisted for the Booker Prize in 2024. It's by Charlotte Wood. I don't even remember what it's about at this point. I just remember when I heard about it and read about it and probably watched some reviews about it, it sounded very interesting to me. So as soon as I saw it, I snatched it up. It's actually the last copy on the shelf. Then I placed an order with Thrift Books, partly because I had a free book with them. Okay, I got The Time Traveler's Wife. I can't pronounce the author's last name. I don't know why I don't know how to pronounce it, but I don't. Then I got My Phantoms by Gwendolyn Riley. This is an NYRB edition. And then I also purchased Men We Reaped by Jesmyn Ward. I've talked about Jesmyn Ward many times on this channel. This is her memoir. I don't know if she has more than one. As far as I know, she only has one. And I haven't been super in the mood for memoirs lately, although I have historically enjoyed them. So hers is one that I think I could trust, and it has actually been on my radar for a little while. I love her fiction so much that I didn't want to peel back the curtain. And I think look, the title isn't subtle. It seems like it's going to be a heavy book. Oh no. Okay, it's fine. That's my little confession. Finally on page 101. It's very different to anything I've read before. It's very strange and fantastical, but not in the way of most fantasy. I'm going to try to finish The Lying Lives of Adults if I can. I have some thoughts that I've been noodling just about this kind of time period that we're entering and starting to reflect on my reading that I've done over the past year. I'm noticing some themes and patterns, and I feel like subconsciously I was choosing books that have a larger significance that I was necessarily aware of at the time I was choosing them. So hopefully by the time I come back, I will have finished The Lying Lives of Adults. I'll still be finishing the rest of my November reads, choosing my last fun book for November, and maybe ending with some of those reflective thoughts.
still in the guest room. I don't know when I will be able to go back to our actual bedroom. I feel like I talked a lot about books that I bought and not so much ones that I'm reading or have read. I have finished Either Or by Elif Batuman. I finished The Haunting of Hill House, The Dutch House. I think those are the three that I've finished so far. I have about a little less than 100 pages left in The Lying Life of Adults. If there's a reflection in my glasses of the light, I'm sorry. It looks crazy and I can't see it in the viewfinder, but I can't see without my glasses. I have started Doppelganger by Naomi Klein, but I don't know if this is a book that I'm going to make it a huge priority to finish. I like it, just it's different and it's a little bit heavier in the wrong way for me right now. So I'm just going to take my time with this one. I would like to finish a nonfiction book in November, and the one I decided to go with is one I've had on my shelves for a very long time. It might actually be surprising I haven't read this book, but it is Just Kids by Patti Smith. I love Patti Smith, and I just listened to an interview that she did, so I went and picked up Bread of Angels. I know I'm going to love this book. I actually picked this up not knowing how popular it was. I was at a little bookstore in Sun Valley, Idaho. I am hoping to just really chill out for Thanksgiving. I don't have any particular plans. I just have been feeling super anxious lately, and my reading this year has really helped ground me because I've been reading, it feels like a lot of portraits of women who I relate to, and not just women, men as well, but these characters that are at this kind of fork in the road. And it's just an interesting thing that I'm noticing as I'm sort of mentally reviewing all of the books that I read this year. I will probably end the vlog here. Thank you for spending time with me. I hope you guys are reading something really great. I don't think I'll have a video the last weekend of the month, but I will pick back up again the following weekend with my November reading wrap up, which I think should be a good one. I've really liked everything I've read so far this year. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.